All right, so I saw this quote. I was reading a book. It's actually a funny story. So one of our clients who actually lives in California, we do like all of her podcast editing, production, all that kind of stuff. She had a guest on her podcast. It was super cool. He owned a business that was like kind of like our studio, but like on steroids. So it was like a full creative space. Like he had music, like artists come in. He would have photographers, videographers, podcasters, dancers, like any type of creative. It was like a space where they could come in, use the space, make content, film, hang out. Like he was saying, it was a place where you could come in, create an idea, and then meet people who could take it to the finish line. Like everybody would just hang out in their network and like use each other's services. Short story, they ended up closing pretty recently, and he took like a month trip or a week or a month, whatever it was, but he went to like some South America country and did like this solo hike. And along this hike, he pretty much just reflected on the business and like his mental state and just whatever he popped in his mind, he documented everything. And basically this whole book is like he broke down the lessons that he thought of on this hike, right? And the one, I want to get your thoughts on this too, but the one that kind of struck me is until this point, I've kind of been not a non-fiction stan, but like I've kind of been a fiction hater when it comes to reading, where it's like if I'm reading a book, I want to get like a lesson from it that I can then apply like immediately. And I want to like learn something in a book. But he had this one lesson in his book, and I'll read a little excerpt. But basically, he's saying many of us, myself included, don't get to imagine enough in daily life. Our routines become automatic, repetitive, and eventually everything turns gray. Fiction brought back the color. I wish this was emphasized to me earlier, so I'm emphasizing it now. What do you think about that?
I like it. Is he referring to like reading or just like or is that just like the deeper quote where it's like he's just talking about life?
No, I think what I got from it was, and he explains a little bit more in that passage, but I don't want to read the full thing.
Yeah.
But basically he's saying like, sure, like business books and nonfiction is great, but like there's things you can take out of fiction too. It's not going to be a direct lesson, but it's like it opens up a different part of your brain where you get to think creatively, think with your imagination. Because like he said, most people don't get to think creatively or use their pure imagination enough. So like reading the fiction, the lesson or the takeaway or the implementation you can do is having something that can lead to that spark in creativity and imagination. Because like, I don't know, as a kid, you imagine all the time, like you're playing with toys or whatever, like you're creating all these stories in your head. But when you're living kind of like adult life, working and everything like that, you don't have that like set time to. So fiction almost becomes a tool in the sense that it brings that back.
I like it. I mean, I totally agree with that because I read, like, I just started reading fiction books, so I'm like by no means like super into it because I started off reading nonfictions. But that actually just reminded me of a fiction book that I just finished that has like a pretty similar vibe to it. Like it is fake, but there were like such great takeaway like lessons just from the book, which is I think almost like a direct correlation to like what you're saying, like. Maybe before you didn't feel that you could pull things like that from fiction books. The book is The Stranger, by the way. It's a Nobel Prize winning book, I think. Don't quote me on that. But it definitely is like an award-winning book. And it's super short. You should definitely read it if that kind of like changed your mindset a little bit, because it's like a 128-page book, but the whole thing is like this guy goes through this like life-changing event and he like learns some like serious life lessons from the event that he goes through, and it's really reflective. So I agree with it. I totally agree with it. I mean, I think that maybe to an extent, like it's hard for me to like put myself into a perspective of other people who may not like who aren't forced to think creatively like all the time. Because like you're right, like most people day to day, like not everyone is. What is it, right-brained, I guess you can say? Like, not everyone is like that. Like, some people don't have, like, creative hobbies or creative, like, outlets, you know? So, I think, probably reading fiction books is probably a good outlet to gain that, like, imagination and that, like, sort of creativity if it's not something that you're constantly surrounded by.
Yeah, because I would say most adults probably don't use their imagination much.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, it's everybody gets kind of like into this cycle. You know, you have your routines, and it's tough to get out of the routines.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
like TV shows and stuff like that. Maybe.
I guess that's another question. Do you think TV shows produce the same kind of thing within people as a book?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
I think books are more challenging, and I am a firm believer if something's hard, like it's probably giving you some more substance. Like it's not hard to just sit down and watch TV, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I love TV. Like I'm not, I'm not hating, but like I think reading a book is substantially, you're going to gain way more from it because you're like, it's challenging. It's hard. It's not like, you're not just sitting and like watching and absorbing. Like you have to like kind of read and like you're almost forced to reflect on things when you're reading things.
Yeah, and you almost have to like immerse yourself in it.
Yeah,
that makes
yeah.
sense.
You got to use your creativity.
You have to.
You have to. You
Yeah.
have to think
Yeah.
about like they're describing things like because you could. It's a perfect example. Like you could read an entire like fiction book and have this entire like world built in
That's
your
it.
head, and then you go see a movie and it's like nothing like how
That's
the other people
exactly it.
imagined it. You know?
Because it's like, yeah, that's somebody's interpretation of that book of what they think it's going to be like, and you just see it.
Yeah.
Whereas like when you're reading the book, you have nothing to see. You're creating every single element in your head.
You're like world building. You're literally world building.
yeah.
It's crazy.
It is cool.
It's super cool. I never really like. Yeah, I don't know. I think the first fiction book I read was Ready Player One. Like it's off the movie. Phenomenal movie. But I was like obsessed with that movie, and someone recommended me like the book, saying like the book was like, if not as good, but better. And it was really short. Like it was, I don't know, maybe like 300 pages or so. So it was a pretty short read. But that book was awesome. Like I read it and I was like, wow, I cannot believe I didn't read a fiction book sooner. Like it was so good. That one wasn't one where it was like super reflective. It was just really cool. But then I read Dune after that. That was like the second fiction book I ever read, and that one is more like philosophical, like society. Like that one had a lot more like deeper meanings to it. But that book was really hard.
Just long or like
it was long.
boring parts.
It had definitely some pretty boring. I mean, for reference, the book is almost 1,000 pages long. I think it was like 900 some pages. That was like the longest book I had ever read, and I just started like really reading maybe like a few years ago. And it was a good book. I did enjoy reading it, but since it's one of those like fiction books with like such a deep world and like deep infrastructure of its story, they're talking about things that do not exist. Like they're talking about like words that don't exist, places that don't exist, people that don't exist, names that are not real words. It was just so challenging. It was a challenging book for me to read, to be honest, because it was like you have to use so many context clues to piece it together. But that could be that same where it's like you're really working your brain to read.
Did you see the movies?
I did. I did. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about like people always say that the book's better than the movie? Do you think that's because of the whole like imagination thing, and do you think it's even part of like kind of like that quote where you're using a different part of your brain that you don't get to use that much?
Yeah, man. That guy was spot on. I think that's a really like accurate representation of it's just you're working your brain in different ways that you may not like do, especially if you're like you said, like in habit all the time and in that like black and white routine of being an adult, like get it, like, just that adult life, you got to get stuff done. I think it's important to take time to like work your brain in different ways like that.
Yeah, it's almost like being an adult and still having that like childlike imagination.
Yeah.
Which is a perfect transition into the next thing I wanted to talk about, which was the Tour de Trike in Westchester. So basically, speaking about being like a kid as an adult, so Westchester, where our one of our studios is located, has a Tour de Trike where businesses and individuals can create a team of 5 people, and you compete in an adult-sized trike relay race, like tricycle relay race. And I don't know if the winner even gets anything, but it's a cool day filled with like a lot of local camaraderie, because you're like competing against other businesses. So everybody's like kind of talking. It's a good day just for like a team building activity. And it's something cool where like they shut down one of the main roads and just everybody competes. That's coming up. That's in August.
Yeah, I just got the email this morning. I'm sure you did too.
Yep.
You probably got the same one.
Yep.
Yeah, that is intense. I'll tell you, it is substantially harder to ride one of those trikes than you thought. Like we were so confident going into it. and it was really hard, especially if you're like taller than 5'8". It's so hard.
Yeah,
But it's fun. It is fun. It's really fun.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
I was so bad at it. I'm not even that tall, but like I have longer legs, I guess. Yeah, that was a struggle.
I mean, think about who did the best, like Jay and Thomas.
Yeah, true.
Like they both did, and for reference, I mean, they're like not short dudes, but like they have shorter legs, I guess you could say. Sub 6 foot, yeah. And they did very well out of everyone on our team. Like they definitely did the best.
It's a fair point. I know this year, I think it's the first year that they're enforcing co-ed too. So we're gonna have our team ready for sure.
Yeah. We are gonna have our team ready. I think. I mean, and we didn't do terrible the first time.
No.
Like I think we came in like 5th out of, I don't know.
It's like 16 or something.
Yeah. So it's like we didn't do terrible.
Yeah.
But we definitely did get cooked towards the end.
I think this is our year.
Yeah, I think so too. It is really cool because it is like literally right on the main road, which makes it a lot of fun. And it's nice too because it's like it's kind of like at the end of a work day. So it's like a nice refresh. It's not insanely busy out yet because like most people are still working. So it's like a nice crowd of like pretty much just like locals and stuff. So it's fun.
Yeah, it's like 3 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
So.
You know what I did just see recently that was crazy downtown? The hot dog eating contest, the Jitters one.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Were you there?
I didn't see it when it started, but I saw the beginning and the end of it because I was walking. I was literally going to pick up my contacts, which is like that eye care place across the street.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, I had no idea what was going on. So like I was just going after work to grab my contacts, and I'm like, what? Like they had these huge like blockades and stuff. Like they had like a whole like drinking area in the street.
Yep.
Like within the contest. So it was crazy. It was cool. It was packed. There was a lot of people.
I was not directly there, but I was there. Like we just decided to go get dinner at the restaurant right next to it, Stove and Tap.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or late lunch or
were
whatever.
You eating
it was.
outside?
We were eating outside.
Dang.
And we're like, why are all these people here? Like, what's going on? And you just see these guys like housing dogs.
You saw them eating them?
Towards the end. It was like the very, very end. And then they like announced the winners and everything like that.
Who won?
I have no idea. I don't even know how many hot dogs they eat, but.
Yeah, I don't know. But it gets crazy. It gets crazy.
People are into it.
Yeah,
they had like the little, like you said, they had like the fenced off area and there's like little bar stations set up.
Yeah.
People were going in.
Yeah, it was cool. You know what's also so interesting? So I just more into like the Westchester local type of stuff. So we just had one of our clients in the other week, and they have an office downtown Westchester, and I was talking to them. She was wearing a really cool hat by this like company. I'm sure you've heard of them, like the Westchester Locals, like those hats and like stuff like that. So I've always wanted them because they're really cool. Like I thought it was just a really cool branding and stuff like that. Like I'm a Westchester local, you know, like I like it. And she was wearing it. I was like, oh, it's a really cool hat. I like commented on it, and she was telling me that like each one of their hats they do like drops. So each of their hat has like a specific number on it. So like once they like drop that, like they never drop it again.
Oh yeah.
And then on top of that, she was like, you have to live like in the borough. Like they won't sell them to you unless you literally like live in the borough.
How do they verify like your license? Like
it's such a small brand. Well, I don't know how I guess maybe your license or something like that. Like I'm sure if you just say your address, like it'd be kind of hard to like make it up. I mean, maybe you could, but like they don't sell to college students. Like they only sell to legitimate like Westchester locals. So that's why it's like super exclusive and stuff like that. So I was like, dang, I didn't know that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Got to get one of those.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm trying to get one now. It makes me want one even more now. It's like even more exclusive.
Yeah.
But,
no, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What else is happening in Westchester?
A couple new restaurants going in. I don't know if it's a distillery or like if it's just like a tasting room going in. I forget what the name of it is, though. I actually don't know if I know the name.
Yeah, I don't know the name either, but
is it a distillery?
I'm pretty sure it is.
It's
like whiskey or like rum tasting or something like that.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
It's where La Cava coffee used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's still selling beans online, so you can still, if you like
good.
the coffee, you can still get it.
Their coffee was good, man.
Yeah.
I like really, really liked their coffee. Like
Yeah.
and Jose was super nice
Yeah,
dude.
Jose was
So
the man. It's a good guy.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't really know if there's anything else like crazy going down.
I know
Right.
one thing kind of crazy. And it's not necessarily Westchester, but everybody's like, it's all anybody's talking about today. Is AJ Brown is now gone, no longer an Eagle.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I'm okay with it. I mean, I think I think everybody who like follows the Eagles already kind of accepted that this was going to happen a little bit ago, and that he was like pretty checked out last season. And I don't know. Today, all these he got traded, and then like 10 minutes later, it's like all these stories keep dropping about why his relationship turned poorly in Philly, and allegedly there's a lot of things going down.
Yeah, it's interesting. The drama's coming out, man. The Eagles tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you're a Philly fan, like you definitely like we all knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
We just didn't know where he was gonna go. I was a little surprised about the Patriots. Like,
really?
I mean, to be fair, like I didn't really know like what to expect, but yeah, I mean, he's a great player, but
That's it.
he just got a kind of a sour attitude. You know what I mean? And it kind of seemed like maybe there was some like team chemistry that was being affected. So.
Yeah, you could probably say that.
Yeah. So,
yeah. I mean, I don't think the Eagles got better by getting rid of him, but
yeah,
long term maybe.
Yeah, long term maybe it's just like morale. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see this season. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I guess we'll find out.
We will find out. But they got the first draft pick for 2028.
Yeah,
and then 5th for
next
2027.
Year. Yeah.
So
hey, there's a chance. Maybe they won't be good in 2 years. Maybe he'll one out. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
You never know.
But all right, so transition kind of into the main thing we want to talk about today, which is why businesses should start a podcast. So let's say I'm Joe Schmo. I'm a business owner doing whatever. I've thought about doing a podcast, but, you know, maybe I'm just not sure. Maybe I'm like, okay, like these guys are cool. They do good work, but like maybe I want to make sure it's the best like ROI. I want to make sure it's a good business decision. What's the case for doing a podcast as a business?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is it's networking, it's marketing. It's not so much about the views as people think it is, or like just yapping, yapping on a camera and doing that sort of content creation. I think it's a little bit deeper than that, and I think it's more strategic than people think it is on the outside, because like I get it, like podcasting is saturated, like I know that, but I think that it's being used as a tool rather than like some like get rich quick like scheme, Yeah. Like I think that if you use it as a tool to network and meet people and just get your business name out there, like I think it works insanely efficient. What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's 100% spot on. It's definitely like I've had like sales calls and stuff like that where people are just like, well, I want to make money. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But like, if you want to make money from your podcast, like be ready to put in like 2-3 years before you see $1.
Yeah, seriously though. It takes time. It's
Yeah.
It's like almost like kind of like how YouTube is as a platform, like, or even like when it's X now, but like Twitter, like for a while, those were like the 2 hardest platforms to grow on.
Yeah.
But like once you did get to that threshold, like it was like a snowball. It's the same thing with podcasting. Like it is straight up. Like I know people always say like you got to be consistent with your content, which is absolutely true. But with podcasting, you really got to be consistent. Like you have to like at least post like I would even say like once a week.
Yeah.
Like for it to
that's
really
the standard. You have to post 1 podcast a week.
Yeah.
And you have to make clips from it.
Yeah.
And like those are just like the bare minimums at this point.
Yeah. It's got to be some sort of brand. Like if you really want it, it's like got to fake it till you make it, you know what I mean?
This is also to say to get money from like monetization and even from sponsors, which could be a whole nother video, is like how to get sponsors. Because it could just be people already in your network. Like when we were doing the podcast, like Talk of the Town, we had a sponsor before we had a single episode, but it's just from previous connections who believed in the concept.
Exactly.
So that's always a route you could do. If money's like the thing you want to do, I'd probably just tap into your local network already, the people you already know, and see if anybody believes in the vision. But I will say the best parts about podcasting, like the case for small businesses, is pretty much what you said, right? So one, it's the networking piece, right? The podcasting, I truly believe, is the best way to get connected with somebody who you might not normally have been connected with. Because say there's somebody who's like, this person would be a killer connection to have. It could either be somebody who could refer you to a bunch of people. It could be somebody who would do business with you. It could just be somebody you could learn something from. The best way to get connected with them is to just shoot them a message to go on your podcast. Everybody wants to be on podcasts.
Yeah. It's free too, you know, like that's
Yeah.
the best part. Like no one's gonna, most people are not gonna say no unless you're like drastically, like they just don't like you as a person or something.
Yeah, or like or they're so busy that like, do you need to have X amount of views before they'll come on? Like little things like that.
Yeah.
But in the world of business, most people will do a podcast if you ask them to.
Yeah.
So that's the number one thing I think is just the networking. Number two is authority. There's like, if you see somebody who's in a podcast studio doing a podcast, you probably think that they're a professional in something. Like they're an expert in something.
Yeah, it's so true.
You never know what it is. Like people are even doing clips that make it seem like they're in a podcast, even when they're not on a podcast, just because it has that instant authority factor. So authority is another one. Social content's another one. You could shoot up one podcast for an hour and have like 20 clips.
Yeah.
So from there, you could put, it's something you can put on your email list, something you can put on your website and have SEO, help with SEO, social clips. It's really endless content that you can just repurpose over and over again.
Yeah.
Those are the biggest things, I think, why businesses should do a podcast. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, beside like the like actual like the like true benefits of it for your business, I mean, it's just fun. I just think it's fun, you know, like it's an enjoyable way to ensure that like you're gonna get some sort of like you're gonna move the needle in some way, and it's just a fun way to do it, you know.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It is one of those things too, like you said, where it's like you have to be consistent. Like I think if you even miss like one episode, like 1 week, you're putting yourself so far behind.
Yeah.
Just some real world examples of like the clients we work with. Like we have one client who, I mean, he did his podcast probably for like 7-8 months before we started seeing like real numbers on the podcast and the clips. But his clip just got like 75,000 views and he's like 5,000 comments. Like he's getting insane numbers from his content. It's just, and it's something too, like I'll tell everybody, like your first 5 to 10 aren't going to be your best. Like you have to just stick with it because it's something, whereas not only does the viewership compound, but so does your confidence and your ability behind the mic too.
True.
Half of it, like you could have people click, but if you're not keeping them entertained, why would they make it past 10 seconds?
Yeah, honestly, that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah. So something you just got to stick with if you're going to do it. But if you do it, give yourself a good year. Like if you're going to do it for your business, here's exactly what I tell you. Don't expect to make money in your first at least 6 months unless you have a sponsor already lined up who believes in the vision. Commit to doing it for 1 year, 1 podcast a week, and at least 3 social clips per week from the podcast. If you can commit to that, I think you have a chance to make it work for your business. And another thing you can do too is have like your ideal list of like 100 people. Like think of 100 people you would want to talk to, right? And have a podcast with and just reach out to them. Because if you can get like 15 people off the bat who want to be on it, it's also more encouraging and helps you continue with it when you have those people who would want to do the podcast with you.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So that's exactly what I would do if I wanted to start a podcast for my business.
Yes, it's worth the investment.
Anything else?
I don't think so. It's my truth.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time.